So yesterday was my 36th birthday, which means I am officially in my late 30s and now closer to 40 than I am to 30, which I'm 100% fine with. But in today's video, I just wanted to get real and get raw with you guys and just speak from the heart and not talk baseball. Because when I started this channel and when we started Northern Baseball Training, our goal is not only just to help players develop their baseball skills, but we want to teach life lessons, build confidence, and help players and parents and coaches succeed in all aspects of life. And I want to share with you some of the life lessons that I've learned along the way that helped me become the best version of myself, both physically and mentally, and the happiest that I've ever been in my life. And a lot of them are lessons that I didn't learn until I was in my 30s. And I had to learn them by doing a lot of things wrong. Because before that, I was so lost in life. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I was. I had no goals, no visions, no dreams, no aspirations. I just lived for the weekend and lived to party. And I only cared about myself. That's all I cared about, was just working and then drinking at night. And it was just a vicious cycle that was killing my body and my mind. I didn't care about how my actions affected others. I just did what I did for me. And I spent the majority of my adulthood acting like a child. I refused to grow up. I just ignored every sign that pointed towards me having a problem and I wasn't right mentally. But once I turned 30, my life started to turn around. I started Northern Baseball Training at 31, married my amazing wife at 32. I got sober at 33. And then now at 36, I am the happiest I've ever been in my life. I'm happily married. We're expecting our first child in a month today, actually, and I have this facility. Life is good, man. Once I really started to look in the mirror and see who I was, and I started working on self-development and self-improvement, that's what really turned my life around. And I've accomplished more in the last 6 years, both externally and internally, than I ever have in my life. And that's not to brag or anything. It's just to help you realize that once you start looking within and working on self-development and self-improvement and working on the things that are important in life, then anything's possible. Because before that, I couldn't stand the person that I saw in the mirror. I hated the man that I had become. So now, being a better human and being a good role model is what is important to me now. And I've often thought to myself, what if I would have figured this out 10 years ago, 15 years ago? And the truth is, I'm glad that I didn't. Because if I hadn't taken that path and made those mistakes, went through the pain, the struggles, the guilt, and everything else that I've been through, then I wouldn't be who I am today. Because everything that happens, every experience, every lesson, every failure, every mistake, leads you to where you are, and they can be a blessing if you let it be. Every choice and every decision that I've made has led me here, and I wouldn't be the man I am today without them. Now, would I have done some things differently? Absolutely, but your past is what makes you and what molds you, but it doesn't have to define you. And I still have so much more to learn, so many more experiences, failures, lessons, and mistakes. And I know I'm gonna make a lot more mistakes. Especially as a new dad, I know I'm gonna make a ton of mistakes, but I know that there's a lesson in each one and I'm gonna find it. So with that, I wanna share with you some of my top lessons that I've learned along the way that I think will help you. And the first one is make good choices. Everything good in your life and everything bad in your life is a result of the choices that you make every day. Yes, of course, there are going to be many situations that are outside of your control, but how you act and how you react to each situation is up to you. Tip number 2 is it's never too late to follow your dreams. We didn't start Northern Baseball Training until I was 31. Like I mentioned before that, I was a guy with no dreams, no goals, no aspirations, just living weekend to weekend. And Northern Baseball Training was something that myself, my brother, Chris, and my cousin Brandon talked about for years. But it was all we did. We just talked about it. We never put any action behind it. Then after years of talking about it, we finally pulled the trigger and started Northern Baseball Training with no experience whatsoever in business. But if you wait until you're ready for something, then you'll never accomplish anything. Now, no way am I saying I'm a super successful guy or a business expert or anything, but I've learned a lot and I've come a long way. And I have some dreams and some goals of where we want to go, and I'm not going to give myself limits. I'm just going to grind my face off and see how far we can take this. Next tip is we all make mistakes. No matter who you are, you're going to make mistakes because nobody's perfect. Some mistakes are going to be bigger than others and some are going to have more consequences than others, but we're all going to make them. You just have to learn from every mistake and learn how to move forward and grow from each one, because if you want real growth, you have to learn from each mistake, and you can't continue to make the same mistakes over and over and not learn from them. And you have to forgive yourself for the mistakes that you make, because we're all going to make them. Nobody's perfect, and you can't beat yourself up too bad. Time is valuable. Every second of every day is precious, and you don't waste so much time stressing over the small things and worrying about the things that you can't control. Live in the moment and appreciate the things that you have, because there was a time in your life where you prayed for the things that you have now. Whether that's a family, a nice house, a good job, a car, whatever that is, there was a time in your life where you didn't have any of that. Now that you have it, you have to live in the moment and appreciate the things that you have and be grateful for everything. You always want to shoot for continual progress in everything, but you always want to make sure that you take the time to appreciate what you have. What you consume is what you become. If you're constantly around negative people and toxic people, then that negativity is going to consume your mind. If you hang out with 9 complainers, you're going to be the 10th. If you hang out with 9 negative people, you're going to be the 10th. And if you hang out with 10 goal-driven, successful people, you're going to be the 10th. Now, I know everybody listens to podcasts these days, so find some positive, motivational ones and consume it daily. Having that constant positivity and motivation is going to help you subconsciously tap into your hidden potential. Things that you might not have believed you could do, you now start believing in yourself. And hearing some stories from other successful people who have been where you are is going to help you realize that anything's possible. Make sure to check out guys like Eric Thomas, Inky Johnson and his Serendipity podcast, Sean Cannell, and then there's a whole bunch more, so just look them up. Be the influence. Rather than letting other people negatively influence you, try to be the positive influence on their life. We all have the power to make a positive impact on people's lives through our words and our actions, just like other people have the power to make a negative influence. Everybody making good decisions and bad decisions is being influenced by some sort of external force, whether it's consciously or subconsciously. Whether it's the music they listen to, the shows they're watching, the podcasts they're listening to, the people they surround themselves with, who are being influenced by other people, who are being influenced by others, who are being influenced by others, and so on and so forth. So just be aware of your surroundings and surround yourself with people who are going to help elevate your game rather than bring you down. Will Smith is one of my favorite celebrities, and not because of his movies or his music, but the way that he carries himself and his work ethic and his morals and values.
Set your life on fire and seek those who fan your flames. The Philly translation of that is don't be hanging with no jank ass jokers that don't help you shine. The prerequisite for spending time with any person is that they nourish and inspire you. They feed your flame. Put your phone down for just a second and look around. Look to the people around you. Are those people throwing logs on your fire, or are they pissing on it? The people that you spend time with are going to make or break your dreams. Everybody don't deserve to be around you. You got to defend your light with your life.
You need to be hanging out with people who are going to help fuel your flame, not douse your fire. And it's tough letting people go, especially people who have been in your life for so long. But sometimes you just got to let them go because they're not contributing to your growth. Stay consistent. With everything in life, the 2 key factors are consistency and discipline. You need to stay consistent with everything you do, especially at the beginning when you're not seeing results. And that's the mistake that 99% of the people do in the world, is that they'll start something, they won't see results right away, so then they'll quit. Now take this YouTube channel for example. Now in no way am I saying this is a successful YouTube channel at all, but it took me 6 months of posting a video every single week just to get my first 100 subscribers. I was getting no views, 20 views, and it was mostly myself and my close family watching. And the videos were bad. The information was good, but the quality was bad, the film production was bad, the editing was bad. But with each video, my goal was just to consistently get better and better with each one. And that's the approach that I'm going to take with every single video. I could have quit after a few months of getting no views and making bad videos, but I trust the process, and I'm going to continue to trust the process until we get 100,000. Speaking of that, make sure to hit that subscribe button below if you're still here. I appreciate it. And you got to look back at everything that you've done and everything that you're good at now, and think about the time when you first started it, because you sucked. No matter what it is, whether it's a sport, your job, your hobby, whatever it is, when you first picked up whatever it is, you weren't very good at it. But the hours and hours and hours of perfecting your craft is what makes you good at it. Another Will Smith quote that I heard, I don't know why I'm on a Will Smith train right now, probably because I just got his book for my birthday. Talent you have naturally, but skill is developed by hours and hours and hours of beating on your craft. Now the last one that I have for you, which is the biggest and which is probably the biggest thing that holds people back from following their dreams, is that you have to ignore the opinions of other people. Most people won't even start, or they'll quit early because they're too worried about what other people will think or say about it. But no matter what you do in life, people are going to talk about it, people are going to judge you, people are going to say what they're going to say. but it doesn't matter. You just have to learn just to ignore that and not worry about what people are saying. And I've mentioned this before, but do you think any successful person, whether it's in sports or Hollywood or the music industry or business, do you think any of them care that they were made fun of along the way? Every successful person has had people make fun of them along the way, every step of the way. But those same people who were making fun of that person are now telling people how they know them. Now, I'm not saying to do things to prove other people wrong, but do it to prove yourself right. Now, to everybody still watching, I just want to say thank you so much to all my friends and my family who stuck by my side through some pretty dark times. Thank you. To everybody who watches my videos and follows us, to everybody who supports us, to everybody who doesn't support us, to all the haters, thank you as well. And I know I say this every year, but I'm going to continue to say this every year, but I'm just getting started.